Today with 5 minutes with Jordan Byrnes from LJ Hooker Brunswick Heads. In the middle of his busy open home Saturdays, he's taken some precious time with us. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go back in time to the beginning. Mate, your understanding of real estate before you got into the industry, what was your understanding of what an agent's role is?
Um, I'd probably use the term fish and chip order taker. In all honesty, if you told me what a real estate agent does, they stand out front. Someone comes in and gives you a price, and then they simply pass along that price to your owners, and they either accept it or they don't. I didn't realize the depth or the complexity of structuring a deal together. Um, you could say that in the beginning, probably the first few months, it was probably still like that in the industry, just because we had that incredible boom where I think a lot of people have been found out in the last 18 months that it's not simply getting the property, someone turns up, they want to buy it, there's nothing else to buy, and they buy it. So that was probably my perception of the industry first coming in, was very much just like, take an order and pass it along, clip the ticket, next one.
So that apprehension of, okay, the market doesn't react the way I thought it would. My training, did it prepare me for the role adequately, or in hindsight, did you need to do more training?
More training, definitely, because I think the nature of our industry is the training you receive is very appropriate for the time or the stage of the real estate cycle that you're currently in. So, like right now, I guess a lot of training is on your prospecting and your closing and a listing presentation. So, whereas during the boom, I suppose a lot of your training and focus was more so on marketing, because you knew someone was going to buy it, but you needed to find them quicker than the other agents could, so that they were unable to buy their property and buy yours instead. Whereas now, buyers, although they are an issue, but he who has the listings will ultimately win in the end. So finding your sellers before anyone else is probably where the majority of our training is currently. You're prospecting and you're closing your deals once you're in the door with the sellers.
First 6 months, first 3 months, first 12 months, that I'm now an agent, and that apprehension of, oh wow, can I do it? How did you overcome that?
I don't think it was anything I did to overcome. It was more of a relief moment. So I think the first deal, because I think until you have that first deal and you get that feeling of this is what it's all about, I don't think there's anything I could say I'll do to give anyone any um, ease of mind. But I just remember that first deal at Pottsville where you get your first offer, you're going back to and fro with the vendors and the buyers, and you finally get it to stick together and it goes through. I think that feeling that you get gives you enough motivation and self-belief that you're like, oh, I can do this. It can be that easy. I was very fortunate. I had a very sort of straightforward one, but I will never forget that sort of feeling on the first deal. And I think from there, it's just sort of snowballed from there that this is what I want to do. This is, I want that feeling again of successfully negotiating. So I think you have to, I don't care how you do it. I think if you can get that first deal, I think the emotions you get from having completed that first one successfully will carry you through the rest.
The Probably answered this question, but looking backwards, what would you change? What would you do differently now?
Um, I don't. I don't think my answer has probably changed from the last time we met. It'd still be your self marketing rather than you're not your franchise. You are your own business within your franchise. So people need to know your name and your franchise's name rather than just the franchise name. So I would go a lot harder with your. Don't be afraid to put yourself on camera. Stuff like this I would have been caught dead 6 months ago. But it really is as simple as the more you do it, the more you become accustomed and the more you grow to love it. I had I caught up with some friends of mine at the bowls club a couple of weeks ago, and one of them said, "Look, I'm going to cut you off halfway. I have the funniest story to tell you." One of his friends, who I know very indirectly, said, "Hey, is your mate Jordan? Is he in real estate?" And they're like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "His face pops up everywhere on my Facebook." He said, I didn't know what he did, but he said it literally just every week I'm seeing his face everywhere, and I had no idea, and I found that hilarious. So I think the earlier you can start doing stuff like that, putting your face on, let's say, for example, you're a boss or a colleague sells something, can you jump in on the successful marketing in your own area? Get your face in front of us all the time rather than just saying sold. Get your face, take a quick, 10-second video. Hey guys, great result here. Or hey guys, open home this weekend. Hey guys, feedback from the opens on the weekend. A lot of people are beginning to lapse on their pre-approvals. So if you're looking for a fairly quick deal, like now's the time. The more stuff you can shoot with your face on it, I think the better, because like I know the guy, but I don't know him that well, and yet he was apparently seeing my face everywhere enough that when he knew someone that knew me, he said, "What does this guy do? He's everywhere on my thing."
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, the earlier you can, be comfortable putting yourself on camera and feeling a little silly, the better.
Champion. Jordan, go and enjoy your rest of your Saturday. Really appreciate your time. Thanks, mate.
No dramas, mate. Happy.
So